Addiction and compulsive behavior can affect anyone, regardless of their socioeconomic background. Now, unfortunately, many highly successful individuals struggle with their addiction in silence and are unable to get help for many different reasons. With the behaviors of several high-profile celebrities, media personalities, and executives dragged into the spotlight to be judged by the court of public opinion, it is more imperative than ever for successful individuals who struggle with various sexual disorders, as well as those in their inner circle, to understand the reality of their circumstance. Now, after years of treating high-achieving executives and entrepreneurs who suffer from sexually compulsive disorders, I've put together 10 reasons why highly successful, affluent individuals are unlikely to seek help for their out-of-control behavior and addictions, especially those of a sexual nature. The first is letting others down. Now, your success and wealth places you in a position of influence. You may be a mentor to some people, you may have family members who look up to you, and employees, partners, and business associates who look to you for guidance and leadership. You also know that demonstrations of power, wealth, and leadership lead others to sometimes assume that you are a model for not just financial success, but personal integrity as well. Your fear of letting down all those people can keep you from taking the responsibility of admitting that you have a serious problem and seeking help. This also ties in with entitlement. See, you may feel that you deserve everything that you have and more, including your current sexual life, as out of control as it might be. And a sense of entitlement can cause you to believe that it is possible to have a problem with addiction. Others around you whom you employ, who depend on you financially, may be reluctant to point out your self-destructive behavior for fear of losing your support or losing their jobs. So seeking help and recovery from your addiction will put you in contact with recovery professionals whose opinion is not influenced by your status or your influence. The second is that there is no rock bottom. Now, unfortunately, for a highly successful person, there's rarely a rock bottom moment, such as losing a spouse or losing your job or your home. An abundance of resources and a secure financial situation kind of insulates you from these revealing experiences, which makes it very difficult for you to realize that there's a serious problem affecting you. And a good example would be the numerous sexual assault accusations which have been publicized in recent months, beginning with Harvey Weinstein, of course. Now, when there's a legitimate sexual addiction involved, it's not until a woman publicizes the behavior of an addict, usually a symptom of their compulsive behavior, that they actually experience rock bottom for the first time in their life. Even then, in many cases, the rock bottom effect, which exposes one to potentially life-saving consequences, can be reduced by really well-deployed public relations or legal action. The third is financial concerns. Now, if you're a highly successful person who happens to be facing a challenging financial transition in your business or lifestyle, an out-of-control sexual behavior does not help. Now, you may have a tendency to dismiss treatment for your addiction because you feel that it's a waste of time and resources when you compare it to the financial emergency you might have at hand. So for instance, some of my clients have dipped into their company expenses to finance their compulsion to hire high-end prostitutes or escorts. Others maintain the lifestyle of multiple mistresses and feel obligated to do so for fear of losing them, against the advice of their accountants and financial advisors. So you don't make the best financial decisions when you're compulsively chasing sexual highs or when you're high on substances. The reality is that your decisions made under the influence of addiction leads to the worsening of any existing financial crises, and seeking support for this can only help you. The fourth is fear of leaving work. Now, your position at work is important to you and the ultimate validation of your achievement. To maintain this position and identity, you may have the belief that you cannot take breaks or any vacations. And if you do, you might jeopardize the success of your company or your position, which you've achieved through incredible amounts of hard work. Now, when you struggle with a sexually compulsive disorder, your performance at work is adversely affected. And this is inevitable And the fear of losing your career or your business can slowly build up. You may even have started mixing drugs with your work and with sex to enhance both the experience and to keep you working longer, more focused hours. You feel that you can balance both work and your out of control sexual life by using drugs. The fifth is inability to identify with other addicts. Now, the common stereotypes of addicts as these poorly dressed, homeless, disheveled people on the street, that's what it is. You know, popular culture, TV shows, and what you see on the streets, on the way to work or back from work, wherever you are, might emphasize this. Your self-image as a person who's in control, who dresses well, who has power, it kind of makes it very difficult to accept the reality that addiction can affect anyone. Sex and porn addiction is no different than a substance addiction. You're still addicted to chemicals, albeit the chemical cocktail that is released in your brain when you expose yourself to pornographic material or chase a sexual experience compulsively. Now, addiction can affect anyone, regardless of net worth, social status, or how high functioning you believe you are. The sixth is your risk to your reputation. Now, no successful, wealthy professional wants to risk their addiction affecting their reputation in any way. If there's even the slightest risk that there will be a legal record of this behavior, that fear is going to cause you to conceal your behavior even more. I understand. However, it is precisely for this reason that you should seek professional help with your addictive behavior, because the longer you wait to seek help, the higher the chances of legal repercussions and damage to your reputation. You want to pay attention to this. The seventh is it's hidden by other disorders. Now, sometimes a sexual addiction is hidden by addiction to other substances such as painkillers, opioids, or antidepressants. Often, a highly successful person, you might be spending years dependent on a prescription medication, which keeps you absolutely oblivious to other issues that you might struggle with. Now, a past history of trauma could also be obscured not just by the abuse of prescription medication and opioids, but by false beliefs, like such as the belief that one has a high sex drive, even though your sexual behavior may be causing adverse effects to your relationships, your career, your health, and your finances. The next is divorce and children. Now, it's no secret that the divorce rate among highly successful CEOs, business owners, executives, and other affluent individuals is high. That's what it is. Admitting to sex addiction can not only be a one-way ticket to divorce, but can put a successful person at a serious disadvantage when it comes to custody of your children or even in divorce proceedings. And this fear only serves to make you conceal your behavior even more, much to your detriment. In the meantime, you try your best to maintain the illusion of a perfect family. That's not helping either, but that's the reason why you're not seeking help. The ninth is rationalizing behavior. Now, high confidence can cause you to rationalize your behavior to extremes, like all this bullshit. Because some common rationalizations I usually hear are, you know what, I have sex with prostitutes because I'm too busy and I don't have time for relationships, or I watch porn because it's the only way that I can get an erection these days, or this is how I de-stress from a busy day, JK, or I only do these things when I'm on the road or when I'm on business trips. Now, for those of you who mix substances with their out-of-control sexual behavior, I've also heard variations of things like, my doctor prescribed this medication and that's why I take it, blaming it on the doctor, or drinking helps me deal with stress, or sex is much better than this, at least I'm not taking this substance and I can still work the next day. The dark side of great confidence is great rationalization for addictive behavior, which ends up hurting you. And the 10th is the stigma of addiction. Now, sex and porn addiction comes with the stigma of weakness, failure, and poor judgment, which are not really qualities associated with someone who is successful, someone who is high performing, someone who is affluent. And if you are a celebrity in your industry, or if you're a highly visible person, the stigma of such an addiction can make it very difficult to become vulnerable and honestly seek help. So I want to let you know that if you are in this situation and you're struggling with a porn or sex addiction, there is help for you, but these are the things that are holding you back. And hopefully, becoming aware of these things will help you make the right decisions that are going to help you in your life. My name is JK. I'm an addiction recovery coach. I'm your brother in this struggle. If you found this video helpful, subscribe to this YouTube channel, Have a great day.